For thousands of years, silk has been associated with luxury, elegance, and the prosperity of humankind. Today, China still holds the #1 position, producing more than 80% of the world's silk supply, which is over 100,000 tons every year. Silk is not only present in the world of high fashion, but it is also used in medicine, industry, and cosmetics, showing that its value goes far beyond the idea of an ordinary fabric. What is truly fascinating is that this remarkable journey begins with a tiny creature, the silkworm. From those fragile cocoons, humans have created one of the most luxurious and durable fabrics on Earth. So, how could something as small as a cocoon transform into the fabric that has captivated the world for thousands of years? Let us discover together right now. To create those shimmering silk threads, the very first and most important step is selecting the right silkworm breed. Farmers know that the health, growth ability, and especially the quality of the silk depend heavily on the genetic source of the eggs. That is why they only choose healthy parent silkworms, free of diseases, and with a history of producing high-quality cocoons. Each female silkworm can lay hundreds of eggs, as tiny as specks of dust. At first, the eggs are pale yellow, but after a few days, they turn into an ash-gray color, signaling that life has begun to form inside. Although they are incredibly small, each egg serves as the foundation for the entire silk production process. The eggs cannot simply be left in the natural environment. Instead, they must be kept in a specialized room with a stable temperature of 68 to 77 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, and humidity levels of around 80 to 85%. These are the ideal conditions that help the eggs develop evenly while minimizing the risks of embryo death or uneven hatching. This stage is extremely crucial. Just a difference of a few degrees or sudden changes in humidity could affect thousands of eggs, leading to fewer silkworms hatching or weaker ones being born. When that happens, the yield of cocoons will drop significantly. That is why farmers always consider egg care as the very foundation. Healthy eggs and evenly hatched silkworms are what make the journey of creating golden silk truly strong and reliable. Right after hatching from the eggs, the young silkworms, also called larvae, begin a very special journey of growth. What is fascinating is that throughout this entire stage, their only source of food is fresh mulberry leaves. Silkworm farmers must pay close attention to feeding. The mulberry leaves are picked from the garden, carefully cleaned of dust, then cut into small pieces that fit the silkworms' mouths before being spread evenly so they can reach them easily. This task has to be done several times a day because silkworms eat only fresh leaves. If the leaves dry out, their nutritional value decreases, and the silkworms will not develop well, which means they cannot produce high-quality cocoons. During its life cycle, a single silkworm can consume up to 50,000 times its own body weight. From the moment it hatches until it spins a cocoon, its body weight increases by thousands of times. That is why the silkworm's demand for food is enormous, requiring careful preparation from the farmers. To ensure a stable food supply, most silkworm-raising households also grow mulberry trees. The mulberry garden serves as the kitchen that provides food for millions of silkworms in each season. In China, there are millions of hectares of land dedicated to mulberry cultivation, forming a closed-loop system, planting mulberry trees, raising silkworms, reeling silk, and weaving fabric. Thanks to the meticulous care during the larval stage and the special diet of fresh mulberry leaves, farmers are able to raise strong and healthy silkworms. This becomes the crucial stepping stone for producing golden cocoons, the very beginning of those magnificent silk threads. Silkworms are extremely sensitive creatures. They can grow strong and develop quickly if cared for properly, but they can also become weak or even die in large numbers due to even the slightest change in their living environment. The most important factors are temperature and humidity. Farmers must maintain a stable temperature of 75 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 24 to 28 degrees Celsius, and humidity levels between 70 and 85%. If the weather is too hot, the silkworms easily become exhausted and stop eating. If the humidity is too low, the mulberry leaves dry out quickly and are difficult for the silkworms to digest. On the other hand, if the humidity is too high, the environment becomes damp and moldy, creating the perfect conditions for bacteria and fungi to thrive. To reduce the risk of disease, one traditional method is sprinkling lime powder around and on the floor. Lime acts as a disinfectant, absorbs excess moisture, and prevents the spread of harmful pathogens. This is a simple yet highly effective technique that has been used across nearly all silkworm farming regions in China. At the same time, the rearing environment must always be kept clean. Leftover mulberry leaves, silkworm droppings, and other waste need to be removed regularly to avoid pollution. A well-ventilated space with adequate light and proper sanitation allows silkworms to grow stronger and reduces the spread of diseases. Proper care not only keeps the silkworms healthy, but also directly determines the quality of the cocoons. Silkworms raised in a good environment spin silk evenly, producing cocoons that are bright white with long, strong fibers. This is considered the golden standard for creating premium silk fabrics that are highly valued in global markets. That is the secret silkworm farmers have always passed down from generation to generation. If you want beautiful silk, you must first create the perfect environment for silkworms to thrive. This is the foundation, the key to producing silk threads of the highest quality. After about 25 to 30 days of tirelessly eating mulberry leaves, the silkworm's body reaches full maturity. This is when it begins a very special journey, the journey of spinning silk and building its cocoon, a safe home for the transformation into a pupa. As the time for cocooning approaches, the silkworm stops eating and repeatedly lifts its head, crawling around in search of shelter. At this stage, farmers must prepare wooden frames, dry branches, or folded sheets of paper. These serve as support for the silkworms to attach to and begin spinning their first silk threads. Silkworms produce silk from a special gland in their bodies. At first, the filament appears fragile, but once coated with a natural adhesive called sericin, it becomes strong and forms a protective shell. A single silkworm can spin a continuous thread up to 3,280 feet long, which is about 1,000 meters, the length of more than 10 football fields placed end to end. Within 3 to 4 days, the silkworm completes its cocoon, enclosing itself inside a dense layer of silk. From such a tiny creature comes a marvelous creation, an iridescent cocoon, soft to the touch, yet strong enough to protect the transformation into a pupa. Behind each cocoon lies an astonishing achievement. To produce just 1 metric ton, or about 2,200 pounds of raw silk, humans must collect between 5,000 and 6,000 cocoons. That number alone speaks volumes about the immense effort behind the entire process, from feeding and raising silkworms to the very moment of cocooning. The cocoon, the silkworm's miraculous home, is not only a turning point in its biological life cycle, but also the beginning of one of the most precious fibers on Earth. And from these tiny cocoons, the world has gained silk, the symbol of luxury and resilience that has endured for thousands of years. After about 3 to 4 days of tirelessly spinning, the silkworm finishes its cocoon. This is also the crucial moment for farmers to begin harvesting. The cocoons must be collected all at once and at the right time in order to preserve the highest quality of silk fibers. At first glance, harvesting cocoons may seem simple, but in reality, it requires precision and great care. If harvested too early, the cocoon will not be firm enough, and the silk filaments will be thin and easily broken. On the other hand, if harvested too late, the silkworm inside will have transformed into a pupa, or even a moth, breaking the continuous structure of the fibers and lowering the cocoon's value. Right after harvesting, the next important step is sorting. High-quality cocoons are usually round or evenly oval, with smooth surfaces, bright white color, and a firm texture. These are the cocoons with long, durable fibers, favored by factories to produce premium silk. Meanwhile, lower-quality cocoons, those that are misshapen, yellowish, dull in color, or with broken filaments, are discarded or used for other purposes, such as making quilts, cheaper products, or even being ground into powder for use in the cosmetics industry. This stage combines modern machinery with the farmer's years of experience. Machines allow large quantities of cocoons to be screened quickly, but a keen eye and skillful hands are still needed to assess qualities such as firmness and brightness, factors that cannot easily be measured by equipment. Once sorted, the high-quality cocoons are packed and sold to silk reeling factories. From there, they continue their journey to become long, lustrous silk threads that serve the worlds of fashion, medicine, and cosmetics. Harvesting and sorting cocoons is not just a technical process, but also an art, a balance of science, tradition, and dedication. It is this meticulous care that has helped ensure the superior quality of Chinese silk, maintaining its leading position in the world for thousands of years. After being carefully harvested and sorted, the pure white cocoons begin a new journey. From biological shelters, they are transformed into delicate yet resilient silk filaments, laying the foundation for an industry that has lasted for thousands of years. First, the cocoons are boiled in hot water at a temperature of about 194 to 203 degrees Fahrenheit, which is around 90 to 95 degrees Celsius. The hot water dissolves the natural adhesive sericin that binds the silk filaments together, softening the fibers and making them easier to unwind. This step also kills the pupae inside, ensuring that the continuous silk strand remains intact and unbroken. Next, the skilled worker searches for the leader thread, the very starting point of the filament wound around the cocoon. In the past, this was done entirely by hand, with each cocoon carefully unraveled one by one. Today, technology has transformed the process. Modern reeling machines can simultaneously unwind silk from 6 to 10 cocoons, combining them into one long, continuous strand. Each silk filament has a diameter of only about 10 micrometers, thinner than a human hair. But do not let its fineness deceive you. In terms of strength, silk can rival steel of the same thickness. It is this unique balance of lightness, delicacy, and durability that has made silk one of the most treasured natural fibers on Earth. China, producing more than 80% of the world's silk, has adopted advanced industrial systems to manufacture vast quantities for export. Yet alongside this large-scale production, traditional villages still preserve their heritage. In these places, silk is reeled entirely by hand and woven on classic wooden looms, creating exquisite fabrics worth many times more than industrial silk. Here we witness the harmony between science and technology on one side, and art and tradition on the other. One represents efficiency and mass production, while the other preserves centuries-old craftsmanship, resulting in masterpieces of silk sought after by the elite and collectors alike. The fragile threads drawn from the tiny cocoon are more than just textile material. They are living proof of the wonder of nature and the ingenuity of human hands. From cocoon to filament, from the sweat of farmers to cutting-edge technology, everything comes together to create silk, the fabric that has fascinated and conquered the world for thousands of years. From a tiny cocoon, silk not only creates luxurious garments, but also extends far beyond, becoming a versatile material in many aspects of modern life, from fashion and medicine to industry and cosmetics. Its diverse applications have helped silk maintain its special status for thousands of years. When it comes to silk, most people immediately think of fashion. Soft, breathable, and naturally lustrous, silk gives a sense of both elegance and sophistication. For thousands of years, it has been associated with the Chinese royal court, and even today, it remains a prized material for high-end clothing, wedding dresses, scarves, and finely crafted embroidery. Its luxury and uniqueness make silk the top choice for major fashion designers worldwide. Few people know that silk also plays an important role in medicine. Thanks to its elasticity, strength, and low allergenic properties, silk has been used for surgical sutures. Not only is it safe for patients, but silk fibers are also biodegradable, helping wounds heal faster while minimizing complications. Today, research has further expanded the use of silk in tissue engineering and biomedical technology, opening new avenues for modern healthcare. Silk does not stop at fashion or medicine. In industry, due to its strong structure and unique thermal properties, silk fibers have been applied to produce insulating materials and are even being explored in electronics. Some experiments suggest that silk protein films can serve as substrates for biochips, sensors, and environmentally friendly electronic devices. This proves that silk is not only a classical material, but also extremely modern. Beyond industry, silk has also penetrated the cosmetics sector. The sericin protein in silk naturally retains moisture, softens the skin, and combats aging. As a result, it is extracted for use in skincare creams, shampoos, and intensive facial masks. These products are popular not only for their safety, but also for providing a gentle sensation and long-lasting effectiveness. This is why, no matter how the world changes, silk remains a symbol of luxury, durability, and creativity. From the tender mulberry leaves to the delicate silk threads, and finally to the shimmering silk fabrics, every step in the production journey of silk embodies human effort, intelligence, and patience. From caring for the silkworms, harvesting cocoons, to spinning threads and weaving silk, all are a perfect fusion of nature and human craftsmanship. China's silk industry is not only an important economic sector, but also a long-standing cultural heritage, symbolizing refinement, creativity, and skill. Over thousands of years, silk has continuously evolved, blending traditional craftsmanship with modern technology, meeting global demand while preserving its original value and high artistic quality. When holding a soft silk scarf in your hands, remember that behind it lies the magical journey of thousands of silkworms, each pure white cocoon, and the skillful hands of the farmers. Each piece of silk is not just a product, but a story of patience, wisdom, and enduring passion passed down through generations. And that is the message. From nature through meticulous care and the hands of humans, Chinese silk has become a symbol of beauty, sophistication, and timeless value.